I recently played a game called Wretched Depths, a fishing simulator set in the backdrop of a distant town surrounded by pines with one mysterious lake. You play Sam, who, armed with their dad's old fishing gear, travels to the town of Twin Pines, drawn by some inexplicable desire and unknown purpose. When you arrive, you see the town, quaint and charming, has clearly seen, however, better days. You head to the local fish shop, one of the only shops you could actually go into, and are greeted by the store owner. He says he can direct you to the lake and runs you through the basic gameplay loop. Catch fish, sell them to him, buy upgrades, catch more fish. Simple. So you hop back in the van and you head off. Upon arriving at the lake, things already seem a bit off. On a quick explore around the area, there are warning signs scattered by the shore, a wire fence that's been torn open, and an old shack that someone has clearly been sleeping in, as well as researching something. If you play the tapes, you catch a glimpse into the concerned search of someone looking into the town's history, and more importantly, the absurd mutations of... But that's not why you came here, it was to fish! And fish you shall. Controls are quite simple, alternating between right clicks and left clicks. You send out your line and reel it in. Catching your first glimpse under the water is immediately satisfying, as it's your only means of peering down into the depths. You quickly find yourself catching some small fish and bass, storing them in your cooler. Your rod and bait can only get you so far in the murky depths, so you find yourself quickly returning to the fish shop and selling your wares, buying a new rod or some bait, and then coming back. It's from this moment that you start upgrading, being able to sink deeper into the depths of the lake's mysterious mileage, that you slowly get introduced to the strange goings-on within the town and its lake. You finally begin seeing very strange fish deeper below, silhouettes of unnatural outlines just out of reach. You can only still snag the bass, but what you really want is that weird thing that looks like it's got hands sticking out of it. What is that even? Eventually, you'll manage to snatch one of these aquatic abnormalities. Wonder what it means. Just look at it. This one's kind of cute. Well, the fish store owner wants nothing to do with it, which is why it's lucky we meet this lovely gentleman who appreciates true marine life and happily compensates us for selling him these obtuse water breathers. As you rinse and repeat, things get more and more strange. The fish mutations are more demonic, vicious. Kind of like, what's going on here? This guy's got a mouth on his head, and this guy I didn't even notice. He's just got a bunch of stuff going on underneath. This one just literally just has a parasite in it. And of course, a strange red-eyed individual keeps appearing periodically around the lake. And as someone hurls themselves into it as well. I will say the game does a great job of, as any horror should, repulsing and compelling. I want nothing to do with whatever is going on here, and it's red flags from dawn till dusk with this town, but the fascination of seeing just how altered the lake life becomes the deeper you go does keep me coming back. The artwork and the models are really quite enticing, and the way that they do that sort of fog of war style fade in the lake is really good. You get just enough, and then when you're a little bit closer you get more, and you're sort of like, I want this specific fish, even though it's disgusting. Eventually, the sky turns blood red and you find yourself, well... I will say, overall, the graphics sold that PS1 emulated aesthetic that the designers were going for, and the gameplay was satisfying. But truly, the big winner for me was the sound design. At least in the horror aspect of this game. The noises were perfect. Getting that cheesy loop sound effect from games of reeling in, or getting that hook line, that kind of drop into the lake water, just nailed that PlayStation 1 kind of sound. Whereas then, having these frightening sounds, footsteps, and the surround sound, these splashes, things going on about you, behind you, worked really well to direct your attention or to distract you. It was also mixed really well, and I say that not in the way that, you know, nothing was too loud or anything like that. More so that things were appropriately loud, and louder than maybe they would be for a PlayStation 1 style game, but in that way that you don't ever feel lost, that your attention is drawn where it should be. And then when you hear things, it is something strange and something has happened. Also, the music is legitimately good. It slaps. Okay, it fish slaps. Massimo Pavoni, I'm not sure I said that right. Massimo Pavoni, you did a great job. I will actually be listening to music from this game in your spare time. I will say I only got to using the radio in the last half of the game, but I would highly recommend just chucking that thing on, because there's a few tracks there, but they are good. They are legitimately bangers. Short and sweet, but an incredible thing, and it's free on Steam, and it was made by these people as part of, I believe, a university project, and they nailed it. It's really good. It hits all the points that it wants to, and then goes a little bit further, and I think that's pretty much what you want from a PlayStation 1 style horror game, because there are a lot of them. We've seen a lot of them. We've seen a lot of fishing simulator games. They're very synonymous with that sort of style as well. So I thought it was quite clever to fuse them here. And apart from that, the pacing is great and shows a clear care and appreciation for horror and games in this era. So, you know, from me, highly recommend Wretched Depths. It's free, and honestly, I would pay money for this. So yeah, get out there and try it. It's awesome.